it's Sarah from Chorley Pilates, and we're looking at our techniques series at the minute. So specifically designed for those of you who are maybe exercising from home, following YouTube videos, doing some online classes, and you want to make sure that your technique is right so that those exercises are as effective as they can be, and you're reducing your risk of injuring yourself while working out. So the exercise that we're going to look at today is the shoulder bridge, and it's one of my absolute favourites. So as anyone who comes to any of my classes will tell you, I could probably do an entire hour class just on shoulder bridge and all the different variations that there are. So we're going to have a look at the very basic today. Once you've got that, you can then start to add in some more exciting moves and do lots of different things with this exercise. Now, shoulder bridge is about lots of different things, movement of the spine being one of them. So if you have been told that you've got some disc issues or maybe some spine density issues or hips, then this might not be an ideal exercise for you to do. So do check with your healthcare provider. Now I'm lying down, making sure I've got even pressure on both sides of the pelvis. Okay, so getting that settled. Feet and knees are the width of my hips. What I very often see is people taking their feet quite wide and then dropping their knees inwards. Now if you just have a go at that, take your feet wider, drop your knees in, can you feel how strange things happen in the hips? Okay, we haven't got good alignment now, so do make sure your feet and your knees are the same width as your hips and your feet are flat. Okay, rib cage is down, and we're going to start off really small. Shoulders are open, resting down. Now I'm going to take my hands across my chest so that you can see my back. Now on a breath out, I'm curling under and bringing my spine into the mat. Now I can feel that my abdominals have done that, they've all switched on. Okay, what we want to try and avoid is squeezing your bottom to do that. Okay, so just check. If you bring your spine down into the mat on a breath out, is it your tummy muscles doing that, or have you squeezed your bottom to tuck underneath? Try and leave the glutes soft for now. So once we've got that part of the movement, we've got that little curl and coming into the mat, we can start to lift the hips. So lifting up, and we're curling all the way to the shoulders, and then we're going to curl all the way back down. Tilting back to neutral. Did you notice I got that little arch back as I landed? Now, things that we need to maybe think about are what your knees are doing. So you might find that as you curl up, you feel like you rock and push back into your shoulders, and you feel a lot of tension in the back of the neck. Okay? We want to try and avoid that. So by thinking of sending the knees forwards as you curl up, you should be lengthening the spine in that direction rather than pushing back into your shoulders and into your neck, where you could potentially cause yourself an injury to the neck. So I'm curling under, lifting the hips, I'm pushing my knees forwards, because in an ideal world, I want to get my knees over my ankles for a really good shoulder bridge. Now curling back down, I'm using those abdominals again. Can I get those ribs down before my hips? Can I get a curl in that lower back? And back to neutral. So again, this is, as we've mentioned in some of the earlier videos, getting all the abdominals switch on. So tucking under, sending the knees forwards, my hamstrings, back of the thighs are working, my glutes, my bottom muscles are starting to tense up, I'm getting a good lift. Now Now, if I just suck in at the tummy button, what will happen if I don't get those ribs down, if I just crease here, can you see the difference? I've just creased at the middle. It's much harder to get a curl and I feel like I go plonk, plonk. So you might want to take your time with this one. Think of your spine moving segment by segment. Pick it up off that mat like a bicycle chain. Send those knees forwards. Take a breath in at the top. Now start at the top of your spine. Curl down. Think about getting your shoulder blades down. Think about getting the bottom of your ribs down. Use these abdominals up here. Now zip it down. Zip, 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 zip. Get that good curl. And back to neutral. So now we've taken our shoulder bridge from just being an exercise where we think of it as legs and glutes to now being a really good abdominal exercise and helping our spine to become more fluid and mobile. And that's going to keep our spine really healthy. So once we've got that technique, we can add in all sorts of different things. Heel lifts, knee floats, bicycle legs. But one other thing that you maybe need to think about is where your feet are. So if you were doing those exercises and all you could feel was your hamstrings screaming at you, maybe your feet were a little bit too far forwards. So if I take my feet further forwards and I try to curl up, there is no way I'm going to get my knees over my ankles. And all I can feel is those hamstrings screaming at me because they're doing all the lifting work. And back down. Now similarly, if you take your feet really, really close and you bring them right in, try to curl up. It's a long way before much happens, and now it's pretty much all glutes and the front of your thigh, so your quad's doing the work, and we don't want that either. So just feeling what's happening. Play about with the position of your feet. Make sure they're lined up with your hips, but you want them in a position where, as you start to lift, you can feel your hamstrings, the back of your thighs switching on, curling up, get those glutes switching on, knees over the ankles, spine is lengthening out, you're not pushing your hips up, straight line, shoulders, hips, knees, and curling back down again. And that's how you do a really good shoulder bridge.